Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode on how Supercell is ruining Clash Royale. And this time, we're going to be talking about how Supercell is now starting to get so greedy, it's now getting to the point where now they're going to start monetizing competitive decks into the shop and how they're going to monetize it to give players a competitive advantage. Now, you would think with all the negative backlash that Supercell has received for Clash Royale, you'd think at this point, with the community still outraged at the developers for Clash Royale, you think that Supercell would have got the hint, right? And you think that they would actually try to somewhat listen to their fans and try to slightly step back on their greedy monetization schemes and all that. But no, instead, what happens here is they continue to double down, if not, I would argue to say they would triple down. And now Supercell is getting to the point where now they're going to start turning into EA and now they're going to sell us pay to win decks. I am not exaggerating. If you saw the thumbnail for this video, that is what Supercell is getting into. So now Supercell is getting to the point where now they're going to start selling you pay to win decks. And keep in mind, these decks that are in the shop for Clash Royale, these are like competitive decks that people would use in like competitive leagues for like ranked mode or like the big leagues and like world tournaments and all that stuff. But mostly the big leagues and ranked mode. And they're gonna charge it for, you think, $5? No. $7? No. They're charging it at least $10 for this kind of deck. $10 for a deck like this. So let me just show you a quick screenshot of what this deck is supposed to look like. Okay, so now that I showed everyone the screenshot, which is also my thumbnail for this video, that is the deck that Supercell is now going to start selling to people for a competitive advantage. Now, before I get on with my rant, I do want to explain a little bit more of how much of a drastic change this is for people who just want to play the game casually. Now, you got to think, like, if you're a person who's in Arena 1 or like the fifth arena, for example, or let's just say if you're a brand new player starting out the game and you're in the first arena and all of a sudden someone could make a troll account and they could be using this princess log bait deck and they could just completely screw with you and that would completely just ruin that person's experience and you're just going to end up getting stomped. And keep in mind, this is just in the early leagues. Like if you want to like actually get higher into like the better arenas like Royal Arena, that's like Arena 7, or like Hog Mountain, that's like Arena 10, then this one deck could last, if not 10 arenas, if not probably the entire goddamn game. It could last you an entire life cycle for the game because of how competitive this deck is. So the whole purpose of this deck is it's a log bait deck, and you use the princess to obviously bait the enemy opponent's log, and if they log the princess, you use the goblin barrel to go for the enemy tower, and then once they're weakened enough, that's when you use the rocket to destroy the enemy tower. And of course, you also have the knight and the goblin gang to distract the enemy, and the inferno tower to get rid of any tank units or building killer units. And the fact that they're starting to monetize a competitive deck like this, it just proves to everyone that Supercell simply doesn't care. They are getting even more greedy than before, if you ask me. You could make an argument and say that this is just another way for Supercell to make money, but I think that anybody that has a brain can clearly see that this is just another scam that Supercell is trying to pull on everyone. And if you ask me personally, this is just another scam that Supercell is trying to pull. And I thought the update for losers back in like early March was bad, but Jesus Christ, Supercell. Do you have Electronic Arts IQ all of a sudden? You know, the most notoriously hated company in the US, if not probably the entire world, and they're known for their copy and paste job of Madden, where all they do is just copy and paste that game every single year, and the only thing that they touch is their Ultimate Team mode to try to get people to sell you more cards, and the cards don't even carry on to the next game. Like, come on, Supercell. This is just another EA attempt that you're trying to pull here, and everybody sees it. And at this point, you are literally, in my opinion, starting to turn into the mobile gaming company, I should say. I'm sorry. You're starting to turn into the mobile gaming company version of EA. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. It Their track history proves it. Look back at some of the other previous updates. Ever since the update for losers came out, Supercell got so much backlash and they were hated for it. Their card evolution update literally broke the game, and now the entire game is all evolution based, and it all depends on how well you played the evolution cards. And now we got pay to win decks like this that quite arguably is just not worth anyone's time. And yes, to be fair, Supercell did recently come out with a chessboard limited time event, which was actually pretty cool. I did make a video saying how rare of a W that was for Supercell. But again, it's just the one step forward, two steps backwards mentality, where they make one positive move, they take multiple negative moves backwards, and Supercell is just back at square one again. At this point, it's been made pretty clear that Supercell just has no respect for the Clash Royale franchise whatsoever, and they're going to continue to milk players dry for as much money as possible. And at this point, stuff like this needs to be called out. So yeah, at this point, I have no hope for the future of Clash Royale as long as Supercell is making these terrible monetization schemes for the game that nobody wants in the first place. So yeah, Supercell can go shove rocks up where the sun don't shine. So with that being said, thank you everyone for watching and for listening. And until next time, I'm calling out Supercell once again for making such a greedy scam business practice. And I'll see you all later.